Yeah, thank you, madam. Thank you. First of all, I must thank to the organizer for giving me an opportunity to share my views and my research on all that on COVID-19 and Indian economy. And I must say thanks to Aya and Janet and also and Joshua. So before I can I share my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Today I'll discuss, yeah, after that inspirational speech, I don't know how much it is suitable or not, but still I'm trying to do that. So today I'll discuss uh, impact of COVID-19 on Indian economy. Before going to the impact of COVID-19 on Indian economy, I'll start with some impact on India, world economy as well as in the South Asian economy. After that, I'll come to the point that is the Indian economy sector-wise impact. I'll discuss. And we all know that COVID-19 triggered like a it's triggered like a global health crisis, and in addition to human enormous human toll, it's like leading to the deepest global recession since Second World War. So and to restrict the spread of the COVID-19, most of the countries had taken a lot of mitigation strategies, a lot of mitigation measures, and like lockdown, like closure of schools and non-essential business, restriction on travel and tourism. So all that mitigation measure has an impact on economy, and how the impact and the mitigation measures sharply decline the consumption as well as the investment, and not only the consumption and investment as well as the state and central revenue also. So now I'll come to the point, that is the how the world economy is impacted due to the COVID-19. So this is the structure what I say already, that impact of world economy, impact of South African and other Indian economy, sectoral impact, I'll say. And so now come to the point, that is the real GDP growth of the growth rate of world. So the sector wise, that high income countries, developing countries, low income countries, and world trade, we can see that the I'm showing here only from 2017 to 2021 data. So in 2017, the growth rate of high income countries was 2.4%, and it is estimated, E for estimated and the F for the focus, and it is estimated that for the 2009 it was 1.7, and the forecast it going down like up to it's around 6.8% and GDP. So we can say how much impacted the global economy is, and in the same thing for the developing country, the forecasted global real GDP is 2.4%, and for the low income countries it is 1%. And if we see the world trade volume, that is it was in 2007 it was in 5.9%, and it will come down to 13.54%. It is forecasted in 2020. So we can say that how global trade has been impacted due to this COVID-19. And it has been said that World Bank already estimated that most of the countries are expected to face a global recession, and they have plotted this data from 1871 to 2021, 2021, and it has been the shaded area are basically for the global recession, and we can see that 1931, this is the deepest and the highest peak with respect to the 1931 global recession. So, and in 1931, the global recession, in more than 80% countries faced the recession, and in 2021, almost 95% country will face the recession. And how the recession fastest and steepest, we can see that the red line, if we concentrate on the red line, that from the March to May, we can see that how the line steeply downward sloping, and how the GDP is declining. Now I come to the point of the impact of South Asian economy. So if we go with the South Asian economy, the same thing happened in the as in the other countries, like the sharply weakened the consumption and manufacturing activity, and not only the manufacturing and consumption, but also it has damaged the tourism and other service industries also. So impact, basically it is highly impacted, is basically due to the deterioration. That is the two type of impact: the deterioration of domestic condition, as well as it's coupled with the spillover effect of the global economic contraction. So there is two type effect impacted on the South economy, and a stronger surge of COVID-19 created a domestic financial stress, as well as deeper pullback on the remittance inflows. So if we see the cases in the COVID cases, this is not much bigger than the other region, but the impact is higher than the other region. If we see the COVID cases in the South Asian countries, we can see that Pakistan from March to April fourth week, from March to May fourth week, that we can see that the Pakistan always the Pakistan get the highest position, and after that Bangladesh, and then after that other South Asian countries, and India get the lowest position. And that way, why this is the India get the lowest position to the total cases per million persons? Because India started lockdown on 25th March, and after it's a stringent lockdown around the world, what WHO is saying. So due to this stringent lockdown, India's cases in India is much lower than the other South Asian countries. If we go with the South Asian GDP, so, like Afghanistan, Maldives, and Sri Lanka are the calendar year basis, and other countries are fiscal year basis. So if just we concentrate the tourism-based country, that is Maldives, Sri Lanka, and Nepal. So these are the tourism-based country, and maximum percentage of GDP comes from tourism and other service sector. So if we see the 2017, in Maldives, the growth rate was to 6.8, and it is expected that 2021 and 2020 it will come down to 13%. So minus 13%. So it is like huge decline in the growth rate. And in case of Sri Lanka, it is also always minus 3.2. And if we go with the Nepal, then we can see that 2021 is 2021 is 2.1%. So these are the countries basically based on tourism and other service sector. If we think about India and other countries, India and Bangladesh, that they are basically in 2017 the growth rate was like 8.3% and 7.3%, and they're coming to in 2020-21 financial year. It is projected that forecasted that the growth rate will come to, in India, minus 3.2%, and for Bangladesh it is 1%. Bangladesh, major part of the Bangladesh contribution is basically that their garment industry contribution is higher. The export of garment industry and remittances are higher. In case of remittance inflow, like in case of remittance inflow in South Asia, we can say that by region that Nepal getting Nepal contributing the highest remittances to their GDP, and after that Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, and India. But what is the difference between all those countries? Because and Maldives are not contributing very small amount of remittance contributing to their GDP, because Maldives getting money from the other countries, because the people from other countries coming to Maldives for the travel and tourism. Nepal is getting that Gulf cooperation countries remittances is higher, and all the countries, not only Nepal, Pakistan and Bangladesh and India, also from the Gulf cooperation countries remittances are higher. If we go with the debt profile, we can see the Bangladesh debt is much lower than the other countries. What is the benefit of this Bangladesh? So that Bangladesh debt to like public debt to GDP ratio is lower, that is 38% or something like that. So Bangladesh can pay off very immediately if we and other countries will need some time to pay off due to the pandemic crisis. impact. Now I come to the point on Indian economy. So I'll start with the lockdown history. Phase 1 lockdown started with maximum stringency, what WHO and World Bank is saying, and started on 25th March, and it continued to 14th April, and phase 2 started with slight moderation on 15th April, continued to 3rd May, and the phase 3 also further moderation has been done, and started from the 4th May to 17th May. And after that, phase 4, that more relaxation we have seen, and started on 18th May, and it continued up to the 30th May. And unlock 1 started on June 1st, and unlock 2 started just 1 day before, that is July 1st. So this is the lockdown history and unlock history in India. And what is the impact of this unlock and lockdown in India? So if we go with this growth of daily COVID deaths, you can see that daily COVID death rates, COVID-19 death rates, the green line, that before the lockdown it was higher, and after the lockdown it's going down. Okay, so lockdown has an impact on that COVID death rate. And if we go with the number of deaths, it's go on increasing from March to April, May, June, and it's today also. The graph is showing that's 23rd June. It was in 14,000 something, and today I have seen that today is like 17,800 or something, and the confirmed cases more than 6 lakhs. So what will be the impact of this COVID-19 before that, the death rates and the lockdown and the closure of schools, closure of non-essential business, closure of like restriction on travel and tourism? What will be the impact on GDP? Like in 2015 to, if we go with this 2015-16 to 2019-20, the highest GDP in this duration, the highest GDP is 8.3% and 8.3%. And in 2019-20, it was 4.2%. If we go with the quarter-wise GDP, that is the highest was in quarter 3, 17-18, that is 8.7%, and quarter 4, that is 19, quarter 4, 19, it was in 3.1%. So that from the quarter 3, 2017, it is go on decreasing up to quarter 4, 2019-20. And it has been estimated that the sector-wise shock due to the COVID-19, major shock is on industry and services. It has been estimated by the NCAER, and the total industrial shock around 54%, 54 to 54.3%, and the service sector shock 16.3%, and the total gross value added is 25.7%. So this is the, but in these industry and services, what are the major subsectors are impacted higher, got impacted higher impact? That is the manufacturing industry and the trade and hotel in services, that is trade, hotel, transport, communication, tourism, these services. Now we come to the impact on agriculture. Agriculture is basically like it's go on the output of food grains from 2015 to 2019. It's like go on increasing. There is not much impact on the agriculture, but slightly supply issues we have seen in the lockdown period, but nothing else. If we go with the industrial impact, like from 2015 to 16 to 2019-20, we can see that in 2015-16 it was 9.6%. The industrial growth was 9.6%. It was 9.6%, and in 2019-20, that growth rate was 0.9%. So from the 2015-16 to 2019-20, it's declining the growth rate, industrial growth rate. Not only for the COVID, but before the COVID, growth rate of industrial activity is declining. And if we go with the quarter-wise, like the highest quarter is the highest percentage in the quarter 4 2017-18, and on the other hand, In 2000 in Q4 2019-20, it is like 0.6%, minus 0.06%. So it's going down to the from zero. And here I'm showing the maximum energy demand from March 2020 to June 2020. Why I'm showing here energy demand? Because energy demand is giving you the taste of like what are the manufacturing activities going on. Like it's an indicator of manufacturing activity. Like we can see that electricity demand are also declining nearly 24% in April, with moderate declining about the 17% in the May 2020 and first week of June. So manufacturing industry is declining. As a whole, industrial activity is also declining. And if we go with the index of industrial production, that is the manufacturing and the general one, we can see the from February to April, we can see the downward sloping, the steep downward sloping from February to April. In the service sector, like we have already told, that service sector, the same period we have taken, that 2015-16, it was the growth rate of service sector was 99.4%. It was 9.4%, and in 2019-20, it is 5.5%, and 2020-21 it's going down like and decline to up to minus 8.2%. If we go with this quarter wise, like the last quarter of 2019-20, it's going down too much, like declining from some positive amount to negative amount up to that is 16.3%. This is the different subsector of the service sector, and that already have told what is the difference between these other sectors. And if we go to the external sector, that is export and imports, going also declining, and from the February to April, and after that, like export little bit increasing trend, but the import from the other countries, the goods and services still declining and very slightly increasing. And on that basis, we have received a Atmanirbhar stimulus package, and what the stimulus package is giving us. That stimulus package giving us like 18.7 trillion amount to the country, and RBI liquidity injection is like 8 trillion, and credit guarantee measures is 8.1 trillion, and fiscal component is 2.6, and the contingent liability, this is not the stimulus amount, but it's contingent liability 0.9 trillion. So this is the amount we have received, and I hope come to the, I have not written any conclusion because still we are in the pandemic, so I can't conclude anything on that part. So, but still we are hoping that we'll get some amount of business opportunity. We'll get some loans from this Atmanirbhar Bharat, and we'll get a good startup business, or we can renew our business with some amount of credit. And I can see that right now the two things are very much necessary for India, because like other countries, the two sector, that is health sector and the and income and employment, is very we have to look after that income and employment and the health sector. In the health sector, we can see that in health investment, health expenditure is like 2.5% of GDP right now, but it has to be 5% of GDP. So we have to think about that, and we have to think about how to. We have to think about also that to give some free food to the and like other materials to the free food and income support. And we can say that PDS system should be stronger enough than the right now what we have, and income support, like we can think about like more stringent process in the MG and RGA, like employment generating scheme. we have already 100 days work package, 100 days work. We can think about like how can we increase that 100 days, like maybe the 120 days or 150 days for a year, so that people will get some amount of support from the government. Thanks, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for that very informative session. I think we have got a lot of data and we got a lot of information, and I think we understand where it is going. Just a few questions, sir. Can I go ahead, sir, with the questions?
Sure.
Yes, sir. The first question is from Daniel. What is the way forward if all these indicators are dipping so badly?
Okay. Way forward is basically we have to create our own demand. Otherwise, we can't get anything from this Atmanirbhar or something like that. So anyway, we have to way forward. We have to think about how we can create our own demand, so that the supply will increase and the other demand activity, demand for consumer goods, demand for business activity, we have to increase all those so that the economy will divide.
Sir. Thank you, sir. The next question, sir. Do you think the government has done enough to help the migrant laborers in this COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah. For the migrant labor, I can say one thing we can do before pandemic, like on a sudden lockdown, before, if they have some news about this pandemic, so that they can move and they have some time to move, they have some transport facilities to move, so that can be I think other way around. So that this type of opposite way, I think it may not be happen, but what we have seen like last two or 3 months.
One more question, sir. Your suggestions to entrepreneurs for pulling through COVID-19 crisis?
Yeah, already we have, like all we have seen that government has given some Atmanirbhar project or support to the startup business and other business revival. So I think each and everybody can get some amount of loan or credit from the government, so that they can start their business or they can revive their business and getting profit and getting roll on money and all, so that and continue their business as well.
Thank you very much, sir, for spending your valuable time and sharing with us a lot of inputs on how the COVID-19 pandemic is going, how the economy is reacting, and for answering all our questions, sir. It was great to listen to you, sir. On behalf of all the participants, a big round of thanks to you, sir.
Thanks to all of you, and good wishes for the next rest of the days. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.